They don't want you to know this, but the truth is, the universe has rules, invisible ones. And while most people stumble through life hoping things just work out, a few discover how to play by these hidden laws, and everything changes. Suddenly, things align. Money flows. The right people appear. Peace feels natural, not forced. The 12 laws of the universe aren't theories. They're forces. They shape what you attract, how you feel, and whether or not your desires materialize. But here's the secret. You don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. That's where the power of the mind becomes your greatest ally, or your biggest saboteur. We're about to explore each of these laws one by one, and I'll show you how to actually use them in your daily life. Not with fluff, but with clarity, humor, and real-world application. And if you find value here, if something clicks, resonates, or wakes you up, take a second to subscribe. It's free, and it means you won't miss any tools that could literally shift your reality. Because once you understand how to align your vibration, your thoughts, and your choices with these principles, getting what you want stops being a fight and starts being a rhythm. There's something fascinating about the way the ocean works. One drop falls, and somehow a ripple reaches a farthest shore. That's not just water. It's a reminder, a subtle nudge from the universe saying, hey, you matter more than you think. And that's exactly what the first of the 12 laws of the universe is all about. When someone finally grasps this law, things begin to click. You realize that even your smallest thoughts can spark a shift in someone else's day, or even their life. And if our words, emotions, and actions create waves, shouldn't we become more intentional with what we release into the world? That's where the power of the mind begins to show its quiet dominance. Try this. The next time you speak to a stranger, smile, even subtly. Think of it as tuning your frequency to empathy. This micro shift doesn't just make you feel better. It literally changes the energy around you. That's the law of vibration beginning to stir. And once that takes root, a deeper journey begins to unfold. You don't need to see the frequency to know it's real, just like you don't need to see Wi-Fi to know the internet's working. Everything vibrates. Your thoughts, vibrations. Your emotions, also vibrations. That means you're basically a walking, talking frequency tower. Now think about this. Ever notice how one negative person can drain a whole room? That's not random. That's the law of vibration in motion. What you feel inside projects outward. So when you walk into a space carrying fear, bitterness, or anger, guess what you start attracting? More of the same. But here's the plot twist. The power of the mind can actually tune that frequency like a radio dial. If you start your day with just 1 minute of deep gratitude, real gratitude, not the fake thanks, universe kind, you raise your baseline frequency. This simple act, repeated daily, aligns you with the law of attraction almost effortlessly. Try this tomorrow. Before checking your phone, sit up in bed and say out loud 3 things you deeply appreciate. Could be your bed, your breath, or the fact that coffee exists. When you feel that shift, you've just activated one of the most misunderstood of the 12 laws of the universe. And trust me, you'll start to notice who and what shows up in your life. And once your frequency begins to rise consistently, you'll see it ripple into other areas. Your health, your relationships, your money. But here's the kicker. Every vibration has a consequence, and that's exactly where we head next. Let's get real. Nothing in your life just happens. That coffee you spilled this morning, maybe it was clumsiness. Maybe it was the universe nudging you to slow down. The law of cause and effect isn't some abstract principle. It's one of the most grounded of the 12 laws of the universe. It basically says, you plant something, you get something. And no, this isn't karma with a dramatic flair. It's more like cosmic bookkeeping. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, every choice you make, yes, even skipping that one gym session, has a ripple effect. The power of the mind amplifies these ripples, shaping the trajectory of your life faster than most people realize. Here's a practical way to test this law. For 1 week, track every small decision. When you choose to scroll instead of sleep, write it down. When you say yes to something you know you should have said no to, track it. By the end of the week, you'll see that your outcomes aren't a mystery. They're just the receipts of your thoughts and behaviors. But don't let that scare you. Let it empower you. Because if everything has a reaction, then even your smallest acts of kindness can echo louder than you think. A compliment, a favor, a message just to say, I thought of you. These aren't just nice things. They're seeds with cosmic potential. And when we start planning more intentionally, something shifts. Our internal compass begins to adjust. And just like that, balance begins to knock on the door, which leads us straight into the next principle. Everything in nature knows how to balance itself, except humans, apparently. We chase, we force, we hustle till we crash. But the truth is, the universe has a built-in correction system. The 12 laws of the universe don't reward excess. They restore harmony. And if you're constantly out of rhythm, life will eventually nudge or shove you back into place. Ever gotten sick right after pushing yourself too hard for too long? That's not bad luck. That's a system override. The law of vibration drops when we ignore rest, nourishment, and peace. Your body isn't betraying you. It's whispering what your spirit already knew. Slow down before I shut you down. You can test this today. Instead of pushing through that 3 p.m. slump with more caffeine, take a 10-minute walk. Observe how your energy shifts. That's the power of the mind realigning with your physical state. It's not laziness, it's intelligence. It's alignment. And alignment, by the way, creates momentum far stronger than burnout ever could. Now, let's be clear. Balance doesn't mean stillness. It's dynamic, like a tightrope walker who's constantly adjusting. Balance means knowing when to move and when to pause, when to give and when to receive, when to go all in and when to just let life breathe. Start watching nature. Trees don't bloom all year. Oceans don't crash nonstop. Your body, your mind, your goals, they all crave that same intelligent ebb and flow. And when you learn to honor that rhythm, something incredible starts to happen. And it's in that stillness, right in the eye of the storm, where energy starts to shift. And that shift leads directly into one of the most powerful transformations you'll ever experience. Ever felt rage so intense it made your hands shake? Or fear so gripping it paralyzed your voice? That's not just emotion. It's raw energy. And the beauty is, energy doesn't die. It transforms. That's one of the 12 laws of the universe most people ignore. You can't destroy your emotions, but you can transmute them. Here's what most folks get wrong. They try to suppress what they feel. But stuffing anger or fear deep down is like putting a lid on boiling water. Eventually, it spills over. Instead, use the power of the mind to observe the emotion, name it, and redirect it. Anger can become drive. Fear can become precision. Let's make this practical. Next time you feel anxious, do 10 push-ups. Yes, seriously. Or go clean the sink. You'll be amazed how quickly the energy transforms. Movement activates vibration, and vibration opens the door to clarity. That's the law of vibration, working with you, not against you. If you're into journaling, try writing, what is this emotion trying to teach me? Instead of just venting. Emotions aren't enemies. They're messengers. When you treat them that way, you start to build emotional intelligence, which in turn builds resilience. And guess what resilience attracts? Opportunity. You can also explore meditative movement, like Qigong, yoga, or even dancing alone in your room like no one's watching. That's alchemy in motion. You're not erasing the feeling, you're converting it. A little daily ritual like this is a powerful bridge to inner peace. Artists do this all the time. Ever heard a song that felt like it was written just for your heartbreak? That's emotional energy turned into art. The transformation of pain into beauty is one of the most divine acts of creation, and it's accessible to all of us, not just the talented. The law of attraction responds not to what you hide, but to what you consciously shift. You don't need to be perfect, just present. And when you practice transforming your state instead of running from it, you become magnetic in ways logic can't explain. Because at the heart of transformation is desire. And desire, my friend, when properly aimed, becomes a magnet that pulls life toward you, which leads us straight into one of the most famous and misused laws out there. Everyone talks about the law of attraction like it's a magic wand. Just think positive and poof, your dream life shows up. Yeah, if only it were that easy. The truth is, this law works on alignment, not wishful thinking. You attract what you are, not what you want. And that's where the power of the mind becomes your secret weapon. Want abundance? Start by feeling abundant before the money shows up. Want love? Practice being more loving, not just waiting for someone to come save you. The universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to frequency. And your frequency? That's where the law of vibration kicks in. One powerful tip: build a morning frequency ritual. Start with 3 minutes of visualization. Close your eyes and imagine what your perfect day looks like, feels like, smells like. Then speak one affirmation that supports it, like, I create value and attract success. This isn't fluff. This is neural rewiring in real time. And if you want to take it deeper, do what elite performers do. Track your dominant emotions daily. Use a simple scale: -3, low vibe, 0, neutral, +3, high vibe. When you start noticing trends, you can course correct faster. Remember, the law of attraction isn't passive. It's precision-based. Ever wondered why some people always seem to get lucky? It's not luck. It's consistency. They think, feel, and act in harmony with what they want. That coherence sends a strong signal, and the universe can't help but respond. Not because they're special, but because they're clear. And here's a wild idea. Stop chasing and start magnetizing. When you're vibrating from fulfillment, people sense it. Opportunities chase you. You become the calm eye in the storm, while everyone else is out there forcing outcomes and burning out. Think about it. The most attractive people aren't the loudest or flashiest. They're the ones who carry certainty, peace, and purpose. That's energetic gravity. That's alignment in motion. That's the law of attraction done right. And once that flow begins, something unexpected happens. Love starts to pour in, not just from others, but from within. And that's the beginning of the next great shift. Real talk. Most people don't even like themselves. How can they love someone else fully? That's where unconditional love begins. It's not about being nice to everyone or turning into some spiritual doormat. It's about accepting all of who you are, flaws, shadows, awkward moments, and choosing to stay soft anyway. That's real power. You probably heard, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? But nobody talks about how to refill that cup. Self-love is the act of recognizing your value without needing outside approval. It's not vanity. It's maintenance. It's tuning your vibration so it matches compassion, which then aligns you with the higher frequencies in the 12 laws of the universe. Here's something to try. Once a week, write a love letter to yourself. Sounds cheesy? Good. That means you need it. Write what you appreciate about your growth, your resilience, your weirdness. This act alone reprograms the inner narrative. And guess what? The power of the mind eats that up and mirrors it right back into your external world. When you live from a space of love, not attachment, not fear, everything softens. Your relationships become less about control and more about connection. You stop taking things so personally. And suddenly, life feels less like a battle and more like a dance. One real-life example? Watch how kids play. They're open, curious, present. That's unconditional love in action. They don't love with conditions. They love with presence. When adults start tapping into that mindset, healing begins, not just for them, but for everyone around them. You want to attract better? Love deeper. Want a richer experience of life? Start by being kinder in your inner monologue. Because what you say to yourself in silence has a bigger impact than what anyone else could ever shout. Love isn't just a feeling. It's a daily vibration you choose to nurture. And loving yourself doesn't mean ignoring your flaws. It means embracing them and choosing progress over perfection. The law of attraction doesn't acquire a flawless heart. It just needs an honest one. And honesty, my friend, leads straight to freedom. Because once love becomes your baseline, not your reward, something profound happens. You stop resisting life. And that brings us to a principle many misunderstand, yet desperately need. Here's the hard truth. Resistance doesn't change reality. It just exhausts you. Most people spend their energy fighting what is, rather than working with it. The law of acceptance isn't about giving up. It's about acknowledging what's in front of you, so you can respond with clarity instead of chaos. That's one of the hidden keys within the 12 laws of the universe. Think of it this way. when you're stuck in traffic. Yelling at the wheel won't move the cars. But calming your breath might keep your nervous system from spiraling. And that's where the power of the mind proves its value, by showing you how to choose peace even in the middle of frustration. Next time something goes wrong, a delay, a breakup, a lost deal, try this. Say out loud, I accept this moment as it is. Not because it's ideal, but because it's real. That simple shift takes you from resistance to response, from powerless to empowered, and from chaos to flow. Now let's be real. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. You can accept that someone treated you unfairly and still choose boundaries. You can accept your past and still work toward a better future. Acceptance isn't weakness. It's a wise surrender to reality. So you stop wasting energy on illusions. People confuse action with control. But true action often begins only after acceptance. When you stop trying to control every outcome, you start seeing possibilities that were blocked by your panic. That's how the power of the mind clears a path through even the messiest moments. Want proof? Look at nature. The tree doesn't complain when it loses its leaves. It adapts. The river doesn't fight the rock. It flows around it. Acceptance is built into every living thing, except humans, who insist on arguing with the wind. But once we stop, life softens. This doesn't mean becoming passive. Quite the opposite. Acceptance gives you back the energy to act from presence, not panic. And that's the sweet spot, when your actions are aligned, not reactive, when your vibration reflects grounded calm instead of noisy resistance. And the more you lean into this state, the more you begin to sense a rhythm, a pattern, a timing to life that doesn't always follow your calendar, but always makes sense in hindsight, which is exactly where we're headed next. Ever notice how the moon doesn't apologize for not being full every night? It waxes, wanes, disappears, and still runs a tide like a boss. That's the rhythm of life. One of the most overlooked truths in the 12 laws of the universe is this. Everything is cyclical. Expansion is followed by contraction, action by rest, growth by stillness. But most people live like they're sprinting a marathon, always on, always producing, always pushing. And when they crash, they call it failure. It's not failure. It's a necessary pause. The law of vibration is phases too, and honoring those dips is what allows you to rise again stronger and clearer. Look at the seasons. Trees don't bloom in winter. Bears don't hustle during hibernation. Yet we expect ourselves to be in peak performance mode 24/7. That's not alignment. That's burnout in disguise. The power of the mind needs time to recharge, reflect, and realign. Try this. Schedule your rest like you schedule your work. Block off recovery days just like meetings. Let your nervous system breathe. This isn't laziness. It's intelligent energy management. You're not a machine. You're a system of vibration. And systems need recalibration. Cyclicity also applies to emotions. Some days you're upbeat and social. Others, you're introspective and low-key. And that's okay. Forcing yourself to be positive, when you're naturally processing something, doesn't heal you. It masks you. Respect the ebb and flow. This law even governs creativity. Writers have dry spells. Athletes plateau. Investors hit slumps. None of it means it's over. It means you're regrouping. It means the soil is being tilled beneath the surface, getting ready for your next season. That pause? It's not the end, it's preparation. And once you embrace this rhythm, something shifts internally. You stop panicking when things slow down. You stop thinking every quiet phase is a sign you've lost your way. Instead, you start trusting the invisible gears of life, turning even when you can't see them. Because when you learn to dance with time, you stop trying to dominate it. And that's when movement returns, not rushed, but ripe. And in that right moment, a single step forward can change everything. Let's clear this up once and for all. Manifestation without action is just daydreaming. You can visualize, affirm, and journal until your pen runs dry. But if you don't move, nothing moves. One of the core truths within the 12 laws of the universe is this. The universe responds to energy in motion. And guess what? Action is the clearest signal you can send. It doesn't have to be huge. You don't need to launch a business tomorrow or run a marathon by Friday. But one email, one walk, one call, That's momentum, and momentum compounds. The power of the mind is a brilliant architect, but it needs a builder. You provide the hands. The universe meets you halfway. Think about it. No farmer prays for a harvest without planting seeds. And yet, we often hope for results without movement. You want new clients? Reach out to 3 people today. Want better health? Drink water before coffee. Want to find love? Say hi to someone new. Tiny actions equals massive signals. People say they're waiting for a sign, but usually the sign is waiting for them. Action clarifies everything. You don't need to know the whole staircase. Just take the first step. That email you send, the post you publish, the application you submit. That could be the portal to a new timeline. And don't fall for the myth of motivation. It doesn't come before the action. It comes after. Want to feel fired up? Do the thing scared. Do it tired. Do it messy. Just do it. Every step tells the law of attraction. I'm serious. And when you're serious, the universe takes you seriously too. Here's a power tip. Create a one-action ritual. Every day, do one small thing that scares you or stretches you. Doesn't matter if it flops. The act alone lifts your vibration. And when your vibration shifts, your opportunities shift too. That's not theory. It's energetic mechanics. Even spiritual alignment requires physical movement. Meditation grounds you, sure, but aligned action unlocks your path. The 12 laws of the universe aren't passive. They're interactive. You co-create your life not by wishing, but by working with grace. And when you move from the space of clarity and intention, something unexpected begins to happen. The world reflects it back, not just in results, but in the way people respond to you. And that reflection? Well, it's more accurate than any mirror you've ever stood in front of. Let me drop a truth bomb. Your outer world is a mirror, not a window, not a movie screen. A mirror. If you keep attracting chaos, delays, or the same kind of heartbreak, it's not a coincidence. It's feedback. One of the boldest truths inside the 12 laws of the universe is that reality reflects your internal state, not your wish list. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. If your thoughts are anxious, your life feels unstable. If your thoughts are empowering, opportunities show up. That's not magic. That's the law of vibration echoing through your surroundings. Change the signal, and the mirror adjusts. Try this exercise. For 1 week, observe what triggers you. Write it down. I get annoyed when people don't listen. Now flip it. Do you listen to yourself? I feel invisible at work. Flip it. Are you acknowledging your own value or waiting for permission? This isn't blame, it's awareness. And awareness is pure gold. Think of your life like a garden. If your relationships are weedy, if your bank account looks dry, or your job feels stale, maybe the soil needs tending. The power of the mind is the gardener. Your beliefs are the seeds. What you water daily will grow, whether it's weeds or wild success. This isn't about toxic positivity. You don't have to pretend everything's great when it's not. But you do need to ask, what is my energy calling in right now? Because every situation you're in is either showing you who you've been or who you're becoming. Either way, the mirror never lies. Want to test it in real life? Change your tone with someone who normally annoys you. Watch how their energy shifts. Clean your home with intention. Watch how you feel in it the next morning. Speak kinder to yourself in the mirror. Notice how strangers treat you that day. It's all connected. And yes, this can be confronting. Seeing yourself in your results requires humility, but it's also empowering. Because once you take ownership, you realize, if I created this, I can create something better. The law of attraction is listening. It's not judging, it's echoing. And the more conscious you become of what you're broadcasting, the more deliberate you become with your choices. And that, my friend, leads us into one of the greatest gifts you've had all along, whether you realize it or not. Here's the plot twist most people miss. Not choosing is still a choice. Every time you delay, stay silent, or wait for a sign, you're choosing your current reality. One of the most empowering of the 12 laws of the universe is this. You are the architect. Every moment is a blueprint. The power of the mind holds a pen, but you decide what it writes. People often say, I had no choice. But they did. It just wasn't the easy choice or the comfortable one. But freedom isn't found in what's easy. It's found in what's aligned. And alignment requires boldness. It means saying no when you want to people please, or yes when fear screams no. Try this. For the next 24 hours, notice how many times you say I have to, and flip it to I choose to. It's uncomfortable at first, but then it clicks. That work meeting, you chose to keep the job. That chore, you chose the lifestyle. That relationship, you're still showing up. Ownership is the path to power. And with choice comes design. Every decision, no matter how small, shapes your vibration. That 10-minute scroll, that fast food dinner, that phone call you keep avoiding, it all adds up. The law of vibration responds not just to thoughts, but to patterns. And your patterns are made of choices. But this isn't about perfection. It's about direction. You can change course anytime. The door isn't locked. It's just waiting for you to grab a handle. The universe isn't punishing you. It's responding to your last signal. Want a different outcome? Make a different move. Freedom doesn't mean chaos. It means responsibility. And once you realize no one's coming to save you, you stop waiting. You start choosing, deliberately. And that's when the law of attraction works like a magnet, pulling in the life that matches your courage. Want to take this deeper? Try this journaling prompt. If I trusted myself fully, what would I do today? Let that answer guide your next step, even a small one. That step tells the universe, I'm awake, I'm ready, I'm willing. And when you start choosing from truth, not fear, not habit, you become unstoppable. Not because life gets easier, but because you finally realize you've been the key all along. So now I have to ask you, after everything you've just learned, what are you going to do about it? Will you keep living on autopilot, hoping things get better someday? Or will you finally take the reins, tune your frequency, and start co-creating your life with intention? You've seen how the 12 laws of the universe operate quietly in the background, shaping your relationships, finances, energy, and sense of purpose. But now that you know how they work, you can't unknow it. The real question is, which of these laws hit you the hardest? Which one are you ready to master starting today? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I actually read them. Let's build a space where people don't just consume ideas, but apply them. And hey, if this message stirred something in you, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because this is just the beginning, and your next breakthrough could be one video away.